This is going to be a Doctor Stone catch-up session where I review what's happened over the last few months, which I haven't done any videos on. So eventually, I'll be able to do weekly reviews as I used to do for Doctor Stone. So I'll be telling you what happened in the story as an overview and what I think about it. So now that Moses on their side, which is quite interesting, he kind of puts on a robe and attacks the meathead guy, which is the loyal subordinate of Ibra, and under the pretense that he's one of the enemies. So he's really strong, and he attacks him. And I guess Mozu actually enjoyed attacking him because that guy's a bit of a buffoon. So yeah, with that, um, the rest of they revive some more members, and they present themselves in front of the islanders just to show a bit of force. And this time Mozu's there as well to deal with the threat. And yeah, and it's kind of funny actually. So Mozu was the first one to go fight the Kingdom of Science, and he actually lets them attack him, and he kind of pretends that he's been defeated, which is kind of funny. And with that, we see Ibra, tell Kisame to throw the petrification device, and all of this was to bait out the petrification device in the first place. And as it's thrown, it's up to what's it called, the captain guy. It's up to him to use the drone to get the device. But once they get the device, which was quite clever on Ibra's part, which was turns out to be a fake in the first place. So that was quite interesting, and he's definitely not stupid. So I'm definitely enjoying this battle of wits between the two of them. So that's the main objective. Yeah, it turns out to be a fake, and yeah. So now everyone's kind of screwed because Ibra's onto them, and he's kind of done a power move as well. He sent his soldiers to the ship, and with that, all they can do is go back to the ship. And with this, Mozu has no longer a use for those guys because the leverage has been turned. So in the end, Mozu tries to chase them, and this is the part where Yo uses where he needs the gun to kill Mozu. Doesn't have the gun because Magma took the gun, and yeah, so they're kind of screwed, and all they can do is go back to the ship. And once they get to the ship, they see so many guards there, and they kind of have to fight them back. And they use the gun, and we see Magma get on the ship, and he fires the gun, and we can see that the gun actually fires, a bit, makes produces a bit of light because of the gunpowder and stuff. So that scares off the villagers into jumping off ship and running away because they think it's sorcery, which is not fair enough. But then, as most of the villagers come off, we see that Mozu's chasing after them, and he gets on the ship, and despite the him being outnumbered, Mozu's still stronger than everyone else on that ship, so there's still no chance of winning against him. So then Senku's forced his hand to use his final card. He calls it the Joker card, which was to release Hyoga, the guy from the previous arc who turned out to be the main villain. And I kind of expected him to make his return in such a way. I mean, this was kind of predictable that this would happen anyway, because the fact that he bought him as a prisoner would eventually mean he would escape somehow. And it was kind of intense for a moment where I didn't know which side he would align himself with, but he eventually chose the side of science. It's kind of funny, Hyoga versus Mozu, because they're pretty much the same character type, strong and kind of evil in the sense that they're both opposition to the Kingdom of Science, and they're both enemies of Senku. And yeah, the fight's quite evenly matched, but Moses definitely seems to be having an advantage for a little bit. And we as Moses seems to be winning, we see Hyoga just dip, like he literally just runs away. And I was wondering what was going to happen, but eventually he was kind of baiting him into a trap, and we see that Hyoga comes out victorious in the end of that battle, and it was the first time he lost apparently, so that was pretty intense. So while in all of this, uh, Ibra and Kisame, they're kind of cornered now because all the men are gone. And this is the part where Ibra turns on Kisame and actually turns her into stone as well. And he has his goon Orashi swallow the petrification device and run to the middle of this island so he can petrify everyone on it. But everyone except Senku, because and then it turns out into a kind of a 1v1 situation between Senku and Ibra, and it was quite clever how they dealt with the petrification of everyone. So they made a line, and every time someone got petrified, they put up a number and calculated the distance. So this was all for Senku to use in his calculation to defeat Ibra, which we'll be seeing next chapter, and I cannot wait. So I've skimmed over a lot of details in all of this, and I've just been kind of speaking on what I remember from reading all of those chapters. So yeah, I think I've got the basis of the story. So this island arc has definitely been a very interesting arc, and I'm guessing this is the final climax fight. And I can't wait to see who wins or how Senku wins, because obviously Senku has to win for this show to even function in the first place. But yeah, very exciting to see how he outwits his opponent and the kind of things he does with it. All right, bye.